Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Malan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Michaela Winsley, a strength and fat loss coach dedicated to midlife women. She guides women over 40 to drop 10 kilograms and regain energy through menopause with her one-on-one coaching, online programs, and her fitness app. Clients see dramatic shifts like skyrocketing strength, better posture, and fat loss in just 12 weeks, all without the overwhelm. Her approach delivers fast and sustainable results through simple hacks and personalized training showcased across her social media profiles. With that being said, Michaela, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Great, thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
It's great to have you on the podcast. I'm looking forward to the conversation. We're going to jump right into it. And what I love to do at the beginning of every single episode is basically travel back in time, right? Before you even had this company, what were you doing before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for starting the business?
Well, I've done a few things over the years. So I actually graduated in law, but didn't end up going down that path. I did some international merchandising where I worked in an office and quickly realized that wasn't for me. I'm not really a stuck in an office 9 to 5 kind of girl. So I actually went into teaching and I taught in primary school. So this was in my 20s. And then I had children. I had children when I was 28, and so took some time off. And this is where I actually got into fitness when I had my young babies at home and I needed a bit of time for me. And it was a hard time having kids, and I needed to rebuild my confidence, my strength, and my capability. So I went to the gym. I kind of fell in love with fitness, and from there realized I didn't necessarily want to go back to teaching children, and thought maybe that I could look into teaching in the fitness industry. So I qualified as a personal trainer, and I did that for many, many years. So my daughter is going to be 15. So yeah, about 15 years I've been personal trainer. And then in the last 18 months, I've gone into online coaching. So this is where my business is really starting to grow. And this is where it's getting exciting for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say good for you for jumping from industry to industry because I know that change can be very scary. And you not
Yeah.
only graduated law and said like, nah, this is not for me, but also hopping into merchandising and everything like that. Good for you though. Most people just get stuck in terms of that one position, like this was my direction, so that's what I'm gonna hold on to, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it can take a
interesting.
while to find, especially when you're young, to find where you want to be. And just because you study
Yeah.
and train in one area, I don't think you should necessarily stick if it's not the right path.
Yeah. Well, again, good for you, Michaela. This is exciting. But let's talk about where this journey got you overall and what the business really looks like for you today. Now, you already gave us a little sneak peek in terms of the pivot going into the online coaching, which is booming in the past few years. But my goal in this part of the podcast is really get the listeners to understand, first of all, who it is exactly that you're trying to help right now, but also what are the core offerings that you have in place for your clients. So tell us all about that.
Okay, so yeah, my kind of ideal client is me, really, is a woman over 40 who were going through all hormonal changes, busy lifestyles, and kind of being bombarded by info on the internet of what we should be doing, and feeling a bit out of our depth and not really knowing or having a clear path. So I help the ladies that I coach with that guidance. I give them step by step instructions with their nutrition, their fitness, mindset. We kind of cover the whole package so that they can really get some great results and really feel good in themselves. And I do this all through my fitness app, which is great and can walks them through step by step what they should be doing every day. And yeah, constant communication with them so they know where they're at and what they should be doing. And I'm kind of with them hand in hand in their journey.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, one thing that I definitely want to clarify, obviously there is so many professionals when it comes to your industry. It is one of the biggest industries that we have, right? And everybody has a different sort of style, different sort of structure of the offers. So I'm curious, when it comes to the app, is that the main thing that you do in terms of providing content within the app? Or is it somehow connected with a one-on-one coaching and basically your clients have a chance to have certain packages or a certain amount of time that they meet with you on a monthly basis, or how does this really work for you?
Yeah, so when they originally join, they usually sign up for maybe a 3 month package, a 6 month package, or for a whole year. And depending on how long they sign up for, they get kind of discounts, like rewards for investing long term. And then it works that they have access to me every day. So within the app, there's messaging services. So we're in constant
Mm.
contact every day. They also have like a timetable of each day and what workouts they should be doing and where their rest days are, their sets and reps. They have demo videos from me. They have full length 30, 40-minute workouts from me. It's all kind of structured around their lifestyle. So they tell me what they can do and what they can manage. And I kind of work with that depending on what their goals are and where they want to be in a certain amount of time, and structure it all so that it's totally personalized to that individual woman, and then they can follow the plan. And within that as well, they do their nutrition tracking. So they'll track their food every day using my app, which has got barcode scanner and all the tools that any food tracker has. And so I can see that as well. So they've got the accountability of really sticking to it and following it so that I can guide them what is going to get them the best results.
This is really complex. Like you're actually
Yeah,
covering all of the aspects that you need to in order to, make them take ownership of the situation, be accountable, really stick to the program. I'm liking
yeah,
this.
it's
Now,
great.
Michaela,
What I
yeah,
found
go ahead.
just from it's so great, the accountability and how in depth it is compared to when I was doing it face to face, because we'd have these conversations of what they should be doing in the rest of the time. But when you're only doing an hour of personal training, then you don't really have access to the rest of their life. So with doing it online and with the apps, it's amazing what the impact it can have and the results, because yeah, it's with every step with them, and the accountability is huge.
I think you basically started answering my question that I didn't even get to ask, but I was
Okay.
about to ask you what was that like the pivotal moment for you, and what really prompted you to go into the world of online? What was that aha moment for you?
Yeah, well, actually, when I first started personal training all those years ago, I always kind of had a vision of doing this, of providing like a platform that would help in all areas, because I knew that it's not just about a 1 hour workout. I was like, it's so much more. It's mindset, most importantly, and then nutrition, lifestyle. But I was just clueless about how to set it all up. And then it's only when I moved from the UK, I moved to Spain. So I couldn't see my clients that I'd had face to face anymore. So I was forced to think of another way to do it. And I ended up getting a business mentor, a fitness coach who had done this before. So I had the guidance of someone that had done it for a number of years and had the expertise to kind of show me what was out there and the software and the platforms available to use so that you can provide all this in one set platform.
I love it. And this is a good example of how we should all look into what other professionals can do for us and for the business, and not only trying to figure it out yourself necessarily. Because it is a very complex thing. To run a business like yours, there's several different components that you're constantly trying to pick up, put it all together, make it work, make it make sense, right? So, but now, Michaela, let's also talk about the back-end side of the business. You already know this, but on Founders Future, if it is regarding sales, marketing, operations, all this kind of good business stuff, we want to talk about it, right? And in
Yeah.
order for you to succeed, one of the key components of it all is having a good client acquisition system in place. So I'm curious, what is it that you do currently on the front of marketing and maybe specifically lead generation to make all of this happen and have the ability to onboard new clients into your programs and keep changing lives?
Yeah, so I'm constant. This is my constant battle, but I'm constantly trying to have really good lead magnets available that I try and promote primarily through Instagram weekly so that I get those DMs coming, I get those direct message conversations, and then get them on the phone. And then that's where I feel I can really make a difference when we have that chat and get them through that funnel, get them to me, qualified leads that actually want to make a change and do it. So always providing recipe guides or workouts or menopause guides, things that they're actually going to find useful and that they want to engage in. So I'm constantly trying to generate those behind the scenes and then offer those on a weekly basis so that they can get a conversation going with them.
I love it. Now, when it comes to those strategies, obviously everything that you've mentioned so far is on the side of organic, right? And I'm also wondering, whenever I get into these conversations, there's typically a lot of frustration when it comes to the inconsistency of such sources, right?
Yeah.
Organic, but also like specifically word of mouth referrals. We all know how good of a lead that is, right? But it is inconsistent. You can have a good month, you can have a bad month, right? So if you compare it with something like paid ads, it's definitely less consistent. I guess my question is, first of all, what is your perspective on this inconsistency? And how did you try to deal with it? Have you dabbled into ads? Is it a part of your plan?
It's definitely part of the plan because yeah, the organic reach, it only goes so far and it's so unpredictable depending on what kind of month I'm having coaching, because sometimes that just takes up so much of my time and I am a bit of a one-man band at the minute. I get a little bit of help from family
Mhm.
members, my daughter, because she's younger and good on Instagram, so she's sometimes helping me out. But yeah, I'm doing everything. So I do need a more structured ad system in place, which is getting me more consistent leads brought in. It is very organic at the minute.
Yeah, but I'm loving the self-awareness though, because usually it takes a lot of time for people to admit to themselves. And also, like, if you look at the future of the company, and this is not only relevant to the ad side of things, right? But if you really think about growing the company and having a bigger impact and changing more lives, obviously you need to think about the processes and systems that you have in place so that you're even allowed to scale the business further, right? So, which
Yeah.
is not an easy task. So I completely understand it, and it's definitely a natural journey. It's never going to be streamlined or stuff like that. So one thing that I want to touch on is you mentioned that this has so far been mostly like a one woman show. So in
Yeah.
terms of really delegating and building out the teams and grow the company, what is your philosophy on delegation? Maybe when is the best time to hire somebody? What are your specific plans on that front?
Yeah. So it's a kind of I'm seeing on the number of clients. So at the minute, it's just about manageable me coaching the number of women that I've got. But as that grows, then yes, I'll take on, I could really do with a VA to help me with operations side. I could do with doing more paid ads. I could do with more professional lead magnets rather than me just creating them, and maybe professional photos and videos to make my Instagram a bit more professional. But then I think some people like the kind of genuine that it is me and that it's not shot in some kind of fancy gym. It's me at home, which is the women that I'm trying to attract. So there's
Hmm.
this, yeah.
The authenticity of it all, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think the thing that makes my coaching special is that it's like it's a deep personal approach because it is all me. But in the same time, that's the thing that's holding me back because it is all me. And I could do with about 10 people to help me grow it to where I want it to go.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a great point, though, because I just realized that as we were talking about your clients, you mentioned mostly the one-on-one training that you do with them as they go through the program. And obviously, there's only so many hours that you have within every
Yeah.
single day that you can provide your clients with, right? So I'm curious when it comes to really thinking about the scalability models in the future, what sounds better to you? Is it some of the professionals are just trying to scale by using other coaches, hiring them, making sure that they work with the same methodologies that you've developed over the years.
Yeah.
But also, there's a chance to build out something in a group setting, right? Like a group coaching program where there could be a lot of women at the same time. What sounds better to you? What do you think is going to be the best direction for you?
Yeah, I have been thinking about that quite hard as well because it's still new. The online that I've been doing it about 18 months. Most of the clients that I've had have stayed with me 18 months on this one-to-one basis. But I definitely want to have a group program that they can kind of drop down to where they don't necessarily need me as much anymore. And that would free up more of my time. And then maybe for future clients that maybe don't need as close one-to-one, that I could put them straight on that group program. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking of that for the future.
That's going to be
Scale it
exciting.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Awesome. Now, Michaela, in terms of the future, obviously we just started talking about it, but let's dive deeper, especially if you think about the next year, maybe the next 6 to 12 months. What would you say really are the biggest goals, targets, revenue, milestones that you have set for yourself?
So I want to increase my monthly recurring revenue to more consistent. So I'm not relying as heavily on offers or my organic Instagram. I need more structure so that it's more guaranteed what my monthly revenue is going to be. And then with that, I can plan more growth with the income that I'm getting for future ventures and to bring other coaches on, other operational side help, and yeah, gain more clients. Really, I want to help more women, so I kind of want to go from my current state where I have about 20 to I want the goal is to get to 50, and then I feel like I'm still in control of those women and still it's not too big, because I do speak to a lot of women that think that if they join a coach that has too many clients, that it's not personal anymore. And I do want to keep that personal aspect about it.
I gotcha. Now, when you really think about the growth that you were just explaining, out of everything, what would you say is going to be the biggest challenge to make it happen?
The biggest challenge, probably getting more leads. So getting those systems in place more. I think getting more women on the phone is what I need. And maybe getting them to feel more of a connection with me. I've got more standing out. So losing any fear of self-doubt and being a bit more vulnerable and authentic in my Instagram maybe, and that'll get the connection that I need.
I'm loving the transparency here. That's beautiful. Awesome. Now, Michaela, we're gonna end up on a little bit of wisdom, and I'm gonna ask you one of my favorite questions ever. So, if you could travel back in time to maybe the very beginning of your journey as an entrepreneur, what would be the best piece of advice that you would give yourself?
I would say take messy action. So don't wait for all your ducks in a row. Is that the phrase? Don't wait for the perfect time. And I even feel I did that a bit myself, like hung on when I had young kids at home and everything was a bit chaotic, that I waited while other people around me were doing it. And I saw these online coaches going for it more and more. And then you feel, oh no, I'm getting left behind. So just not being afraid and not doubting yourself and just going for it and messy action. Before you're ready, just do it.
This is so true. I mean, to be honest, it's never going to be perfect by the
No.
conditions. So, either way, you're better off taking an action. So, 100% agree. Michaela, thank you. This has been an incredible conversation, and I think we just wrapped up another insightful episode on Founders Future. So, thanks again for taking the time today, sharing the story with the audience and with me. And if anybody from the listeners wanted to get in touch, maybe even work with you, what is the best way to go about it?
So Instagram is my biggest funnel. So Michaela Winsley Coaching on Instagram.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you again. Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from zero to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.